I mean, the thing that I think I always feel some sort of, responsibility because I'm in this thing with him. You know what I'm saying? He's my artist.
Why have you never stood next to nobody? Because you studied the 48 Laws of Power.
Nah, man, that's whack. And he knew exactly what I meant because he'd been standing next to something his entire career.
Right.
You stood next to Biggie, you put hot on him. That's stand next to the fighters you want, right? You stood next to Mace, stood next to Jock. Look, Puffy might be the destination for anybody going nowhere.
He's not wrong. Y'all are fucked.
Nobody survived.
You all are fucked.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Please, people, help me help you. Who's first?
Well, the Locks got signed before I did. Even though I bought the Locks to our fighters, they got signed. They were a safer group. Puff signed them. And it was a blessing and a curse because they were happy about getting signed first, and they were on the Benjamins and shit was going. But then he made them jiggy and put them in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and raped them.
Sean Diddy Combs recently admitted that he feels some sort of responsibility for the death of his artist, the iconic rapper Notorious B.I.G. Biggie, whose birth name was Christopher Wallace, was gunned down on March 9, 1997 in Los Angeles. He was only 24. His murder came only 6 months after the death of another iconic rapper, Tupac Shakur. Both killings remain unsolved. I think I'll always feel some sort of responsibility because I'm in this thing with him. He's my artist, Diddy said today on the Wendy Williams show. But even though the bad boy only feels he's partly and emotionally responsible for Biggie's death, other famous rappers in the game, including the late DMX and 50 Cent, believe Diddy is solely accountable for Biggie's death, and the two have even confronted him, leaving the father of six shaking to the bones. So, what did X and Fifth say about Diddy's involvement in B.I.G.'s death that has left him worried? Let's find out. You see, 50 Cent and DMX's accusations are not coming out of the blues. They have a massive backing that Diddy planned Biggie's hit, and that's probably why the record executive is freaked out.
Some of his associates, I still want to strangle them.
It was Biggie's mom, Valletta Wallace, who let the cat out of the bag about how she really felt about Diddy before everyone else jumped in. Valletta told The Breakfast Club that she often wanted to strangle Biggie's accomplices.
Some of his associates, I still want to strangle them.
Even Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, has spoken publicly about Biggie's hatred for Diddy. Gene recently gave an interview in which he claimed that Biggie knew that Diddy was stealing from him and that the two weren't as close as Diddy makes it seem.
I don't believe they were that close but Puff had robbed Big.
Gene further divulged that Biggie intended to reclaim publishing rights from Diddy.
Puff was robbing him and had robbed him out of his publishing and his marketing. But Big had to play the game because Big wanted to get his publishing back and his marketing that he had sold out to Puff.
In addition, Gene stated that the late rapper had attempted to quit Bad Boy for a lucrative deal worth over $60 million. According to Deal, he witnessed Biggie's Bad Boy contract while guarding Diddy's bag on a plane. It detailed Big's revenues in $250,000 increments but gave Puff all the publication revenue. Biggie apparently told him about his new agreement and how much money he would make when he asked him about it.
Yeah, Big had a contract, and what happened was when me and Puff rode on the plane coming back down there, Puff gave me his briefcase and everything like that. Like, yo, here, like me carry this shit. Say, all right, motherfucker, I got 5 hours, 6 hours on this thing. Let me see what's in the briefcase. And I seen Big contract. And then at the end of the contract, I was skimming through it. At the end of the contract said, oh, we're gonna discuss about you getting your publishing and your marketing back. And I think the contract was for so many years for like 62 million, it comes out to like $62 million.
On his part, the husky-voiced former Rough Rider Signey also believed, before his sudden death, that Diddy killed Biggie so that he could take his musical estate.
It was a blessing and a curse because they were happy about getting signed first, and they were on the Benjamins and shit was going. But then he made them jiggy and put them in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and raped them.
Rapper Earl Simmons, better known by his stage as DMX, died of a heart attack in White Plains Hospital in April 2021. But not before showing the world what a horrible human being Diddy is and how he mistreated Biggie Smalls in his final days. Throughout his nearly 2-decade-long career, DMX struggled with legal difficulties, tabloid publicity, and drug abuse. In addition to being one of the most successful hardcore rappers in the history of mainstream success, he was a remarkable artist whose style of emotional urgency and cultural effect extended far beyond his core fanbase. The hypnotized singer's confession inspired X to discuss his unhappy recollections of meeting Biggie in one of his earlier interviews. According to X, Biggie told him that Puff Daddy, before he was Diddy or Love, sexually assaulted him. In an interview before the release of his 2012 album Undisputed, the rapper talked about his time as an unsigned artist and how he almost had a record deal with Bad Boy but was passed over in favor of the Lox. "You know, the Lox got signed before I did. They were a safer group," said DMX. "Puff signed them, and you know it was a blessing and a curse because they were happy they got signed. And they were on the Benjamins. But then Diddy made them jiggy and put them in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took their publishing and raped them." DMX went on to say that Damian D. Rock Butler set up their meeting, but that Diddy ultimately decided not to sign him because he didn't consider DMX to be a commercially viable artist. It was quite obvious that Diddy had a fondness for guys, but it turns out that many haters now believe that Diddy passed up X because he didn't find him gorgeous enough to satisfy his sexual appetite. "The thing I respect about Puff was that he told me to my face. He said, his voice is too rough, he's not marketable. You got to respect that." In the same interview, DMX spoke about his respect for Biggie and how Biggie taught him to appreciate a smile. During their discussion, Biggie allegedly told Diddy that he had been sexually molested by the latter. Too many eyewitnesses to the alleged mistreatment by Diddy of one of his best artists ever have come forward to cast doubt on the veracity of the claims. 50 Cent is another rapper who has consistently said that Diddy is responsible for Biggie's early death. Although this may come as a shock to some, the truth must be told. 50 Cent, a legend in his own time, has released a song that links Diddy to Biggie's death. Finally, someone has the courage to confront the music industry's bad boy.
Look, Puffy might be the destination for anybody going nowhere. Nobody survived him.
You all are fucked.
Look at it.
Yeah.
That there's more, Diddy is well known for more than just his musical and commercial acumen. But no, he also has a bad rep for being a violent criminal who will stop at nothing to advance his financial interests. And by anything, I mean the taking of a life. I know, it's terrifying.
And he knew exactly what I meant because he'd been standing next to something his entire career.
Right.
He stood next to Biggie. You put hot on him. That's stand next to the fighters you want, right? You stood next to Mace. Stood next to Jock. Look, Puffy might be the destination for anybody going nowhere.
Not one to sugarcoat the truth, 50 Cent always says it how it is. In his diss tune, he openly criticizes Diddy for his questionable business practices, and he is the only rapper to do so. He doesn't come right out and accuse Diddy of killing Biggie, but he does point out that Diddy made a lot of money off of the tragedy. 50 Cent isn't the type of person to ignore the facts. Only he is prepared to speak out against Diddy, and he is the only rapper. He even admitted as much in his diss rap, saying that Diddy was implicated in Biggie's murder. 50 Cent, like the rest of the world, is aware of the enormous sum of money that Diddy made off of Biggie's untimely demise.
Jay-Z and Puffy wanted Biggie killed. Bottom line.
Now, Diddy's ex-bodyguard Uncle Ron has come up with his own set of serious allegations. He claims that Diddy was the mastermind behind Biggie's death.
Here's a man that wanted to leave Bad Boy. He wanted to do his own thing. He mentioned several times how he was tired of being used and abused.
Uncle Ron isn't simply making wild claims, he has solid evidence to back up his claims. He was asked by Diddy to commit the act, but he declined. Biggie paid the ultimate price because someone else accepted the offer.
I was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls. March 1st of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists.
Diddy has a less than stellar reputation in the music business. A lot of his musicians quit the business and never came back. Mace was once such a musician. Mace had shown promise of being a major player, but he abruptly left the game to devote his life to the ministry. It appears he desired to break away from the career he had built while signed to Diddy's company. Diddy claims Mace owes him millions of dollars, yet he continues to pursue Mace for payment. Mace, though, tells a quite different tale. He claims that everyone at Bad Boy Records was taken advantage of by Diddy, and he's had enough. The arrival of the Notorious B.I.G., a true game changer who changed the music scene in a matter of years, sent shockwaves across the hip-hop community. Being the ultimate power couple, he and his loyal companion Diddy were inseparable. Biggie joined Bad Boy Records immediately after its inception, trusting that Diddy would make the greatest decisions for his career and provide him with the best possibilities. Back then, it appeared as if nothing could stand in the way of their love. Yet, looking back, it's obvious that Diddy never handed Biggie his fair portion of the profits. He wrongfully took away the acclaim and wealth that were rightfully his. Despite all of this, Biggie followed Diddy's lead without question. Biggie's mother, however, publicly disapproved of his contract with Bad Boy Records and their purported partnership. What did she say? The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That's the amount Puffy lured my son with. That was a lot of money for Christopher back then as a 19-year-old. He had never seen that much at one time in his life. It was enough money to make my son believe that Puffy was ready to do anything for him. It was enough to buy blind love and loyalty. Diddy loved Biggie like a brother and a friend, not just as a source of income. At least, that's what he assumed. Biggie didn't realize how foolish it was to entrust Diddy with his money until much later. For a long time, Diddy had been stealing from him. Biggie has realized the truth at last. He realized that if he stayed at Bad Boy Records, it would be the end of his career. What he didn't anticipate was that any attempt to escape the label would be met with murder. Biggie had the guts to switch record labels and find one that would treat him fairly as an artist. To his old bodyguard Gene Deal, he revealed that he was through with Diddy and Bad Boy. The moment had come to progress. Biggie told Gene it was time to break up with Diddy and the label after Gene found a bag containing financial records from Biggie's time with the Mogul. An era was coming to a close. He showed me it had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Lil Cease, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy Lee, and The Commission. I think the contract was for so many years for like $62 million. It comes out to $62 million. Biggie's aspirations to leave Diddy's orbit wouldn't have gone unnoticed. That's why he chose to give his all in one last-ditch effort. Diddy betrayed the first individual that had faith in him when he started his record label. By eliminating Biggie, Diddy retained ownership of Biggie's library. When Biggie was first starting out and needed money, Diddy bought the publishing rights to his music. Diddy made sure that all of Biggie's music profits went to him by having him killed before he could quit the label. Diddy's daughter even tweeted saying, "Puff does nothing for my family." Biggie's friends and family have always suspected that Diddy was more complicit in his death than he let on. He would have profited the most from the order even if he hadn't given it. Before Biggie's untimely death, Lil Kim and Biggie were close pals. He had an affair with Kim while still married to Faith Evans, and she became pregnant with his child. It would imply that Kim blames Diddy for a major part of the death of her partner.
Kim 100% believes that Diddy knows who pulled the trigger on Biggie. She knows that Biggie's death was a major cash cow for Diddy because he now had all of Biggie's rights, which Biggie was trying to take away from Diddy.
There are others that attribute Diddy's conduct and his involvement with the Illuminati. After all, nobody can just casually get rid of a major artist like Biggie Smalls. Even more so if Diddy is linked to the Illuminati and murdered Biggie, as some have speculated.
This explains Lil Kim's anger towards Diddy, but it's not like she can say anything because we all know what happens to anyone who tries to expose the Illuminati.
Even Kanye West insinuated that Diddy killed someone and did unspeakable things while under the influence of the Illuminati. Is he possibly equating Biggie's murder with Diddy?
This truth is gonna be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody.
Many believe that Biggie wasn't the first one to fall prey to Diddy's avarice. This had happened to Tupac before. This was the sentiment of one Twitter user. Rumors are that Biggie made moves to leave Bad Boy for a deal worth more than $60 million, and that Diddy planned Biggie's death in retaliation. It's also rumored Diddy played a role in Tupac's death, paying $1 million to hire a Crips gang member to orchestrate the killing. Another admirer shared the success story of Bad Boy Records after Biggie's passing. It's as though Diddy's avarice could only be satisfied by Biggie's death. Biggie's death carried Bad Boy and beyond technically, though Bad Boy was on fire at the time. Once Biggie died, that fire grew tremendously. Biggie's album went diamond, No Way Out 7 million, and the rest is history. Without Biggie's death, the label would have crumbled. All these people, 50 Cent, DMX, Valletta Wallace, Gene Deal, Mace, Uncle Ron, and Jaguar Wright, among others, cannot be wrong in saying Diddy took out Biggie. What are your thoughts? Join the conversation in the comments section below. And that's it from us today. Until next time, bye.